Hello and welcome to the on-record portion of the Rockbridge Report. I'm Jordan Cohen here with Unit Coordinator of the Rockbridge Extension Office, Thomas Stanley. Thank you so much for being here today, Thomas.
I'm glad to join you.
Now, I know you went to Virginia Tech and got your bachelor in animal science and then went to Kansas State. How'd you find yourself in Rockbridge County?
Well, it's a great place to live. The Shenandoah Valley is the heart of agricultural production here in Virginia, and it was my aspiration to serve as an extension agent where there was a lot of active commercial agriculture, and so my extension career has been here in the Shenandoah Valley. I had 15 years in Augusta County, and then when we downsized in 2010, I relocated my headquarters, but still serve the same 5 counties I've been working in the past 20 years.
Well, we're glad to have you here. What are you most excited about this coming year in the Extension Office? What programs?
Well, I'm excited about the extension mission. Virginia Tech and Virginia State Universities are our 2 land-grant universities in the state, and they, by mandate, by the Smith-Lever Act of 1914, have the mission to deliver proactively research-based education to rural communities. And specifically for us here in Rockbridge, and my colleague Megan Baer, who's our 4-H extension agent for 4-H youth development, and Rebecca Wilder, who is our extension agent for family consumer science, specializing in foods, nutrition, and health, and then myself work in agriculture and natural resources. Each have our individual programs we pursue, but from year to year we are excited to be engaged in work that enhances the quality of life enjoyed by people who live in Rockbridge.
And we were talking a little earlier about the SNAP program. Can you explain what exactly that is and how the Extension Office works?
Well, the Extension Office interfaces with the SNAP program, and for those that aren't familiar with the government acronyms, SNAP stands for Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. And that under years ago, that was known as the Food Stamp Program. And Extension has been commissioned by a federal grant to execute outreach programming and education to families that are eligible for SNAP funds to ensure that they're making smart choices about nutrition and health in their families.
Okay, well, that sounds excellent. So we were talking a little earlier about spring being a little early this year and the temperatures climbing a little more than usual. How is that affecting farmers in the area?
Well, and that gets into my realm of agricultural and natural resources. And spring is, I would say, our weather patterns and where soil temperatures and growth patterns and crops are, we're a week to 10 days probably ahead of our usual schedule. But by and large, most farmers know that they need to wait till April for most planting activities. We've had abundant rain, but we've also had windows of time that have allowed farmers to apply fertilizers and chemical controls that they needed to enhance production. And so I can say that the 2016 season is off to a very good start.
Well, speaking of chemicals, what should people know about using pesticides in their homes and around their homes as they start to plant in the spring?
Well, first off, always read the label. The label is the law. And the products that are available on the market, of course, the use of pesticide agents can be controversial, but historically we know that there are always trade-offs. There are things that are beneficial that enhance both enhance agricultural production and enhance quality of life around the home with the wise and judicious use of chemicals. But at the same time, there's an awareness of reducing the amount of chemicals we use and only using them when necessary, and also making sure to use them in a safe manner. And the label is our first source of information for that. So in the context of this interview, that would be my number 1 advice is follow the label, and the label will give you guidance in terms of, is this an appropriate product to use for the purpose I want to achieve.
Okay, thanks. Well, switching gears a little bit, I know that the Extension Office does quite a bit of work with the 4-H programs here in Lexington and Rockbridge County. What are some new things happening in the 4-H program that people should know about?
Well, I'm really excited about our extension agent for 4-H youth development. That's Miss Megan Baer. She's been on board with us for a year now. And as it happens, she's a native of the county. She has a master's in education and has some really exciting programs. Most significantly, starting first Monday in April, we're taking registrations for our 4-H summer camp. And as far as a summer camping opportunity, we feel like we're the best deal in the state. Yeah, it's an excellent educational facility at Smith Mountain Lake that's maintained through the Virginia Tech Foundation or Virginia Tech 4-H Foundation. And we anticipate that we'll have approximately 100 children from Rockbridge County attending our 4-H youth camp. We'll be camping with Botetourt and Craig counties, and that's a great opportunity for those youngsters to meet new people and enjoy great new experiences in a wonderful facility at Smith Mountain Lake.
Wow, I wish I had something like that when I was a kid. That sounds like so much fun. So you've done a little bit of traveling. You've been to Kansas State, and of course you started in Virginia. Mm-hmm. What do you think is most unique about Rockbridge County from an agricultural standpoint? Well,
I think what I like to point out to people and to farmers is we look to the future, and that's what I think most importantly in extension programming, that we try to foster proactive work looking to the future. And when we look at the future of our rural landscape here in Rockbridge County, we've got to come to the realization that we're a lot more like Ireland than we are Iowa. And our pattern of land ownership, our topography, our soil types, our climate point to some really great opportunities in agricultural production, but it may not be the type of agricultural production that we have in the past 2 generations come to expect as what is traditional or conventional agriculture. We have great proximity to excellent market outlets all along the East Coast, some of the wealthiest consumer markets on the planet, actually. And as a consequence, while we're really good at raising livestock, and a lot of our topography and so forth is best suited for livestock, we have fields that are also very well suited for the production of high-value crops that can find ready markets on the East Coast.
How do you think the Extension Office can help motivate people to take advantage of these opportunities?
Well, I think that one of the roles that I seek as an agriculture extension agent is to try and open doors to new market opportunities. Mm-hmm. I think our farmers, when you look at the profile of our farmers in Rockbridge County, they're a very well-educated group and very capable of implementing the management once the market opportunity is presented to them. We look at perhaps some high-value crops, such as a high-value vegetable or fruit crop that we haven't traditionally grown in recent generations here in Rockbridge County. Our farmers in Rockbridge, they can learn how to grow it, and Extension has a role to play in those technical aspects. But we also have a role in Extension, I think, is to foster and make those connections in the marketplace that present that opportunity, because the farmer may be able to grow the crop, but he has to be able to produce it economically and produce it at an economically competitive price. Mm-hmm. And find those market channels and do the things necessary on the production side that open those doors for market access.
Okay, wow, that's really interesting. So I guess my final question for you today is, what do you hope to achieve in your time as unit coordinator for the Extension Office?
Well, we have something it may sound like a pat answer, but it is our mission and our commitment is to enhance and improve the environmental and economic sustainability of Rockbridge County and all rural communities and all communities in the Commonwealth. And specifically for Rockbridge County, our vision is to be a catalyst that empowers our landowners, our citizens here in Rockbridge County, to the opportunity to enhance their quality of life, and also enhance our environment and the sustainability of our presence on the landscape. And that's both from an economic standpoint in terms of the viability, the financial viability of farms, as well as to have sustainable impacts on the landscape long term, so that we can continue to enjoy this beautiful landscape that I think is really unique to Rockbridge County.
Well, I have no doubt you'll be able to achieve that mission. Thank you so much for being here today, Mr. Stanley. That's all we have time for today for the on-record portion of the Rockbridge Report. I'm Jordan Cohen. Thank you so much for tuning in today.